Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. Today we're going to talk about things that America could potentially adopt from the European countries. And this video is brought to you by the Great Courses Plus. In November 2020, I'm going to celebrate 4 years since I moved to the US from Russia. And before that, I lived in Russia, I lived in Germany, and there are certain things that are completely different in the US. We're going to talk about healthcare, we're going to talk about paid leaves, we're going to talk about mass transportation. It's not like I'm endorsing one or another system. I just want to compare advantages and disadvantages and see whether American entrepreneurs could maybe adopt something from Europe and create a brand new company, a brand new startup that would make American lives better. Or maybe somebody who's watching from the EU be like, oh my God, we need this in Europe. So I just want to compare different systems, compare the way I see them, and of course, I'm really looking forward to reading your comments below this video because, oh my God, I want to hear your opinion as well. Let's dive into it. Thing number one that I wanted to start with is mass transit system. I've talked to a lot of friends here in the US and I asked them like, guys, why do you think there are no... Well, there are railroads in the US, but they're mostly for transporting goods from one place to another. And yes, you can take a train from LA to San Francisco, but I don't see people doing that. I see a lot of people driving, I see a lot of people flying, but they don't take trains. And I guess the route from San Francisco to LA should be very picturesque and beautiful. On the other side, when I lived in Dresden, I would take a train everywhere. I would take a train to Berlin, I would take a train to Leipzig, I would just travel around Germany using trains, and the train system is amazing. So the answer is railroads in Europe for passengers, they mostly make laws and they're sponsored by the government. In the US, because everything is business driven, yes, there are a lot of railroads and trains that transport goods because from economical standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. But from the passenger standpoint, that doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't generate as much money. And I know Elon Musk is working on his boring company, so there would be a tunnel leading from San Francisco to SF, and I think they're already testing it in Las Vegas, but it's a private tunnel. They only use it for their company. But the thing is, there have been some movements toward that direction, and yes, a tunnel is a different thing from a railroad, but mass transit system can be better. And when I came to the US, we lived in Mountain View, and I was like, oh, we don't need a car because I would just take my bike everywhere. And then I realized you can't really go grocery shopping on a bike if you need to buy food for 3 people for the whole week, because I wasn't able to drive that bike back home from Walmart, and this is where we did a grocery shopping in Mountain View. And I couldn't use buses because they were really unreliable. There was just one bus an hour, and sometimes it didn't come. So, but when I was in Dresden, I had this bus stop that had digital screen that showed that the next bus is coming in 3 minutes. So again, this is something that should probably be coming from the government. So government should be investing in creating supply, and then that would drive demand. But still, I think there's an opportunity for entrepreneurs, of course, not just like people who are just starting out, but somebody who's already made capital and has some experience. Education, another huge topic. Again, in the US, prices for higher education have risen, I think 3x in the past 20-30 years. In Europe, Germany, education was free. Well, I paid maybe like 150 euros per semester, but that covered my free pass to take transport within Dresden. And of course, I know that is covered from taxpayers' money that people pay in Germany, but as a young person, having this option to get free education, it just takes away the burden of debt. It takes away the burden of trying to choose the subject that would generate a lot of income in the future in order to cover that debt. And overall, I think it's better for creating equality because people from different backgrounds are able to get great education if they love studying. So this is what I experienced in Germany. This is what I experienced in Russia. I also got my education completely free, and I also got a stipend because I was a top student. It wasn't huge, it was like $50 a month, but still it was something. In the US, yes, by the way, I got accepted to top American universities with full ride scholarships, but I also realized it's just like a couple % of applicants, they get this full financial aid. The majority of applicants would apply for a loan, and then it would take years to repay it. What's happening right now, and again, entrepreneurs in the US, well, they are one of the best in the world. I don't know if you've heard of Lambda School, but Lambda School is where you learn coding and IT-related subjects, but the way it works is that you study for free. Yes, they evaluate. They don't take in everyone. They evaluate candidates, and then you give them a certain percentage of your future income, and it's also capped because if your salary is on a lower side, you are free from repaying for a couple of years until your salary gets to some point. But the thing is, that could be a future of education. And you might ask, how is Lambda School making money? And by the way, there is a very smart thing Lambda School is doing. So they take a class, they take this class's future income and sell it to venture investors, like this future payments. And this way Lambda can stay profitable at the moment. If you're interested in education, research this, guys, because I think that's the future of education. When you as a university, as a school, can guarantee a certain level of education because your income depends on how much your students make. That's amazing. So I think for Europe, this is something to think of to relieve taxpayers. For the US, I think that's something to work on to make lives easier for general public. Cafeterias. Small business opportunity detected. So San Francisco is a great place. It has a lot of small cafeterias, but the market throughout the country is mostly dominated by Starbucks. In California, we have Blue Bottle, we have Pete's. So we have those chain cafeterias. What I noticed in Europe, you have a lot of smaller cafes that are cozier, they have this family approach and healthier food. So whenever I travel from San Francisco to LA, it's a 6-hour drive, 5 to 6 hour drive. And I try to take all my healthy food with me because it's just impossible. They have Subways, they have McDonald's, they have Starbucks, but they don't really have those healthy family-owned restaurants on the way from San Francisco to LA. And I think I've mentioned this idea in Top Business Ideas for 2020. Guys, if somebody creates this cafe, if you create a organic food joint on the way from San Francisco to Los Angeles, please DM me. I'm gonna advertise you for free because I really want to support this kinds of businesses. I know corporations are huge in the US, but I really want to emphasize the efforts of small business owners because, you know, the quality is just different. You can feel it in every sip of coffee or in every piece of salad that you're eating. I wanted to say every piece of sandwich, but then I thought if you're making something healthy, then you probably go away from sandwiches to producing more salads and more like hot food. The next thing I miss in the US is speaking multiple languages. Most of my American friends complain that they can't learn languages because whenever they try and go to a foreign country and they want to practice their Spanish or German or French, people just start speaking English to them because they want to practice their English instead of helping my American friends practice their Spanish or German or French. But I think learning a second language really helps your brain develop and really helps you understand different cultures. And I know there are a lot of schools here in California who teach second language from, you know, the age of 5, but I also know this is not a mass culture in the US to learn a language seriously. I know a lot of people take it up 2-3 years, and by the way, if you're watching from the US, please share your experience with learning a language, a foreign language. But I know a lot of my friends took it up a couple of years and then they forget it. It is just great the way it happens in Europe is that if you come to Germany, people would speak both German and English. If you come to Finland, almost everyone speaks Finnish and Swedish. If you come to Estonia, people speak Estonian and Russian. Yes, I understand this is all geographical, cultures are closer, but it also provides a broader look on the world because when you learn a new language, you'll learn a new way of life. And this is why I speak 4 languages, because every time Marina speaks German, it's a different Marina. Every time Marina speaks English, it's a different Marina. And I love it that way. The next thing I'm going to talk about is mostly controlled by corporations. That's how many days people get in vacation, parental leave. So I recently had a baby, and because I'm in California and because I run my own business, I was able to have the maximum. I got paid 6 weeks off to recover from birth. And I also got 6 weeks to connect with my baby, and also my husband's gonna get 6 weeks off to connect with his baby. And by off, I mean part of his salary would be covered by the state, which is amazing. And I know it's not the thing in many states across the United States of America. In Russia, we get 3 years of parental leave paid by the state. Again, the amount of money is small, probably even smaller than what I got for 6 or 12 weeks of parental leave here in California. I know in some European countries you get a year. And as a mom to a young baby, I understand how crucial it is to get this parental leave. Because full recovery is not 6 weeks. You need like 2 or 3 months. You need to get used. If it's your first baby, you need to get used to your baby. You need to get used to this lifestyle. And also talking about vacations, again, America is this huge business power, and a lot of things are done in order to help businesses make more money. But in the end, I think if a employee is happy, if he's getting enough time with his family, if he or she is getting enough time with his family, enough time resting, then your company just does better. And this is why I'm so happy to see huge corporations introducing their own rules, like Airbnb, Google. They just provide more freedom to their employees. They give more family time. They're just kind of shifting this American culture a little towards the European culture. The course that really helped me navigate through American life as it is, navigate through insurance, is real estate planning. I'm actually establishing my own trust now because I would never think about it back in Russia. Like, people don't really have trusts in Russia. It is called Money Management Skills. This course also helps with personal investment because, again, investing is a huge topic in the US. It helps with things associated with owning real estate in America. So this is a beginner's course for everyone who's in the US, who's moving to the US. You need to understand the reality of it. And I highly recommend this course to just understand the way American life works. You can find this course on a platform called The Great Courses Plus, and The Great Courses Plus is a subscription on-demand video learning service where you can enjoy lectures from top professors from around the world. If you decide to subscribe to The Great Courses Plus, then through your subscription you're gonna get 11,000 video lectures from top professors from the Ivy League and other great universities from around the world. And because The Great Courses Plus are sponsoring this video, you are getting something for free. You're getting a free trial, and you can totally use this trial to access the course that I've just mentioned in this video. Please use the link below, thegreatcoursesplus.com/Silicon Valley Girl, to get your free trial and to start learning the basics about the American life. Taxes. Oh my God. Okay, so whenever we're talking about taxes, healthcare, life insurance, I haven't even talked about this to any of my friends in Germany. Because, taxes is a simple form that you can fill in by yourself in Russia or in Europe, well, in most of the countries. If it's different in your country, comment down below. But from what I've heard and from what I experienced by living in Russia or Germany, that it was really, really easy. In the US, all of my friends have their own CPA. And when I watched American movies, I was like, why is everyone having their own lawyer, their own CPA? I was like, wow, do I need it as well? Turns out, if you have a more complicated structure, if you have like a small business, if you have a family situation, or if you just want to reduce your taxes legally, you need to consult a professional or take CPA classes. You don't have time for that. So you would probably consult a professional and pay them a fee. And this is why everywhere when you travel in the US, you see those shops, small stores where you can just come in and file your taxes. I have never seen it in any other country in the world where I just walk around in a tourist destination and I see CPAs. Again, this is not a complaint. I understand that on average Americans pay less taxes than an average European, and that's because the system here, it just has so many rules that you can use legally to reduce your tax base. But I also understand that it's so much more complicated. Again, I'm not saying that one system is better than the other. I'm just trying to compare advantages and disadvantages of both systems. So all in all, and this is just my opinion, I'm happy to listen to your opinion, guys. So what I feel is that America is this place where you can customize everything, and if you have a lot of money, you can have the best, but it really gives me some kind of pressure and some kind of stress that, I always have to maintain a certain amount of income to afford education for my children, to afford good healthcare, to afford to live in a good neighborhood, to afford this and that. But once you have money, you can do anything you want. With Europe, it's kind of harder to, build $1 billion company. Just, even looking at the US, we have the majority of $1 billion companies here. You're taxed heavier than the US. You don't have too many options in terms of like where you go to see a doctor, how you choose a doctor. But at the same time, you don't have to worry if you lose a job, you lose your healthcare. You don't have to worry that if you don't have enough money, your kids are not going to get education. You don't have to worry that if you have your baby, you have to be back at work in like 4 weeks. So it really depends on your life situation, whether you like one model or another. but it's just the way it works. It's just the way it has been happening historically. And I just want to hear your opinion, guys. Where are you from? What do you think about what I said? Do you think the US should adopt some of the things that are happening in Europe? And do you think the country would benefit from it? Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. Please like this content. If you enjoyed it, share it with your American friends, share it with your European friends. Let me know what they think. And yeah, there is a red button down below. Subscribe to this channel.